Right, we'll touch on now looking at the model of health and safety management and what's involved in that and what it's all about. So when we think about managing health and safety, it is a process where we're looking at improving performance. And this is where those nice indicators like no lost time accidents, no 3-day injuries, targets like that, your company might have for you to aspire to, and we know to put the process in place in order to try and achieve those aims. Right? So the policy of the organisation and your organisation might have some targets that they want to try and achieve. Lower the accident rate to 5%, or however you define your indicators there. And what we do say, in order to achieve that by making the best use of the people we've got there, the money we've got available and resources, is involved in a management system. We tend to call about management systems. And this is our HSE model. What we've got here is 6 boxes. Starts with policy, organising, planning and implementation, measuring performance, reviewing performance, and on the side we've got the box that's called auditing. So this is the model of HSE 65, Successful Health and Safety Management. It is not too far away from any model that's in OSHA 18000, right? Or the BS 8800 as it was at that time. They're all very, very similar, and they build on what is legally required as well. What I need to perhaps get over the next 10 minutes is the difference between what that model is telling us with the words and what legally is in the Health and Safety at Work Act, as far as the words are concerned. It's unfortunate they've used the same word for 2 different things. So in this HSE 65, policy at the top, that is that 1-page document that you'll often see from each company which sets out the commitment of the organisation. What are they going to do to protect the health and safety? It's that nice document you want to read with all those nice words in. We are going to ensure that we are legally compliant, and we're going to look after the health, safety and welfare of all our employees and visitors. All those nice words. It's lovely to read. An audit was, and things like that were ones where we're checking, is it actually taking place? The policy is the commitment of the organisation. It's usually signed by your managing director or chief executive. It's their declaration. The person at the top is committed to looking after the health and safety. It sets out the aims, it sets out the goals of the organisation. The next box down, organising, is all about the people. It's all about defining the roles and responsibilities of the people within your organisation. And what I mean is roles and responsibilities for health and safety. Right, so organising is all about the people. It'll also define the roles and responsibilities of our health and safety manager. It'll also define the roles and responsibilities of our occupational health unit, of our health and safety committee, of our fire wardens, of our first aiders. So all those people have got roles within health and safety. Those should be clearly defined. And it's usually by the role rather than the person's name. Because if he goes, that means you've got to rewrite your policy the whole time. Right, so often in the role of the person, the senior managers, or however it's the operations manager, or how those are defined. Health and safety manager, health and safety officer, what those roles and responsibilities are. It'll also, within that section, start to look at communication. How are we going to communicate within the organisation? Upwards, downwards, inside, outwards? Who's responsible for talking to the HSE? How are we going to get that information in? Where the reporting lines are. So we're delegating that reporting lines. So if I spot something wrong, who do I go to in that chain of command? So it's all about how we link together as people. That's in the organising section. The planning and implementation section then is really the biggest part of the whole system. This is where it'll actually be written down and defined. How do you do risk assessments? And how often do you do risk assessments? All your safe systems of work, You also might within there have a section where you have your action plans, your plans, planning and implementation. So from your risk assessments and things like that, you develop your plan of what you're going to do next year. So that's where the meat of the health and safety management system is. Measuring performance, and how do we check what we are doing is taking place and it's having its effect. So how are we measuring that performance? So you'll do things like health and safety inspections, health and safety audits. You might do specialist surveys, a noise survey, a survey of the chemicals levels, that type of thing. You might be doing benchmarking, comparing your indicators, your lost time incident rates against somebody else's. You might do environmental monitoring, actually measuring internally lighting levels, chemical exposure, noise levels, those type of things. But that measuring performance is all about checking on what you're doing. So by doing an inspection, we can go into a room or into an area and check that everything is in the right place. The chemicals are stored away in the cupboard. There's no loose trailing wires. There's no overloaded plug sockets. There's no walkways that are all, say, cluttered from filings from the machines. So you look at general hazards that are there. If you've got rid of them, you can put them away. So there's various ways we can actually go in to measure that performance. And what I'll be saying to you is don't do them all, or else you'll be continually measuring your performance and getting nowhere, all right? Because you want to be able to measure it and put action in place. So you would then define within your own system what you are going to do. That leads then on to the reviewing the performance. And what we're doing here and reviewing is looking at any specialist audits we've had done, which are often external, very comprehensive review of not only the physical things, but they look at all the documents that we've done, they talk to people. So it's a very thorough examination of your performance against your management system. So reviewing, we bring that information if it's been done. We bring all the information from inspections, from your risk assessments, to then decide what your next plan is for the following year, but also then maybe to feed in and change maybe the policy statement or how you're going to do things in the future. So the reviewing is bringing it all together.